Hello, welcome to a special Q&A recording of I'm Your Man, presented as part of the Special Presentations program at the 46th Toronto International Film Festival. My name is Diana Sanchez. I'm the Senior Director of Film here at Tiff. I'm very happy to be here today with Maria Schrader and the two main cast, Dan Stevens and Maren Eggert. Before we talk about the film, I'd like to extend a sincere thank you to our lead sponsor, Bell, and our major sponsors, RBC, L'Oreal Paris, and Visa, as well as to our major supporters, the Government of Ontario, Telefilm Canada, and the City of Toronto for their continued support during these extraordinary times. I'd also like to thank Visa for their sponsorship of the Special Presentations program. So thank you, welcome. I'm not sure where you're all coming in from. It's such a pleasure, Maria, Maren, Dan, to have you here to talk about I'm Your Man. I was very excited to see the film at the Berlinale. I thought it was brilliant, moving, funny, and resonant. It really stayed with me all these months, and we're so happy to be able to show it here at TIFF. Maria, can you talk to us a little bit about how you came up with the idea for the film? What attracted you to the project? If you can talk to us a bit about that.
Yes, with pleasure. Well, let me first thank you. Likewise, it's wonderful that our film is invited to Toronto. We, of course, would love to be there, but festivals in this particular time still going and having an audience and having screenings and finding different ways is just wonderful, and we are very grateful to be part of this program. Yes, actually, I was in the mood for something lighter after Unorthodox, after my last feature, which was dealing with European exile. I thought that I've never done a really, playful love story. I thought the setup of very classical setup of a woman and a man who turns out not to be a man, but then still it's a love story and it's about questions of love. There is a simplicity about the setup, and as you so beautifully said, still there's depth for quite fundamental questions about what is love and what is longing and what is a human and what is a robot.
No, thank you. And how did you come upon working with Dan and Maren in these roles?
I was just lucky. I think I was just very, very lucky to have found these wonderful actors for these parts. I know Maren because we live in the same city in Berlin. I saw her on stage. I invited her. I saw her also in other movies, of course. I invited her to audition for this part, and it was very clear for me from the first moment on that she's just the Alma I wished for, a believable academic, an intellectual, a strong mind, a funny, sincere, chaotic, organized. I mean, all these beautiful changes Alma goes through. She's a real human, and Maren approached this character with sincerity and with humor. And yeah, for Tom was, I think this character is a big task, and a machine with the best parts, provided with the best parts of humanity. And from the moment on we started with the script, I thought it would be wonderful to find someone who brings, maybe through language, something foreign to the Germans. So we were kind of searching in Europe and other countries, and then I was told Dan Stevens speaks German, and he was in a film earlier in Germany. So we met via Zoom, like we meet like now. We shot during pandemic, and I looked at his work, and I knew his work from before, and I think it's just I can't imagine someone else any longer, because there's humor, there's something so incredibly precise about his acting, and there's irony, there's just, he's fast. I mean, yeah, he's so good looking. It's just like, I stop here now.
Well, I would love to hear, Dan, was it fun playing a robot? Like, was it challenging? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was several layers of challenges with this one, and I think robot roles, it's almost become a sort of a genre in itself for an actor or actress to take on now. Is like, when are you going to give your AI performance? And I've sort of voiced robots in the past, but I don't think this is the first time I'd sort of played one in the flesh, as it were. And to do it in German was an added challenge, I suppose. But it kind of, as Maria said, it added something to the strangeness of the character and the strangeness of the experience for me and for Tom. Just learning, constantly listening and trying to understand and trying to learn and try to be better, which I'm always trying to do anyway as an actor. How can I be better? But specifically in German, and for Maria, how can my German be better? How can I better represent this scene? It was an amazing challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine. It seems like such a fun, like such an interesting role to take on. Maren, I was wondering about your experience as well, because Alma's so serious sometimes, and you really had to have, there's a lot of facets to your character. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the challenges in playing that particular role?
Yeah, I don't think she's so serious in the end, but she's very much into her work at the point where we meet her. So she doesn't want to get distracted from that, and there comes along Tom and wants to move in, and well, he doesn't want to, but they want him to move in, and she really doesn't want it, and she just thinks, let me do my work, and I don't want to deal with this, and so yeah, I don't think she's so serious in the end. She turns out to be like really, I think, really childish sometimes, and really stupid also, and really funny. And I think it's just the point where we meet her in the beginning of the film.
Yeah, I love that arc that you see with her character. It's done so well. And one of the things that I really thought, that I love about the film is that how Alma is chosen for this, experiment, because she's the only single person in the department, as though, single person can just give up, a few weeks of their lives and start a relationship. Can you talk about what you wanted to say with that? I thought that was really great. Maria.
What I wanted to say with how the whole idea that Alma is a scientist, and she's specifically interested in, in the ancient history of humankind. So she is investigating cuneiform and the first traces of poetry and metaphor, and so she is an anthropologist. And the premise of the film is that this big company enters Europe, or let's say Germany, and has this new generation of robots who can be partners. And now it's about the question, will they be legalized in society? If we can distinguish the machine any longer from humans, if the machine is in parts, and Tom is the greatest example for it, even more civilized than human beings, why shouldn't they have the same rights as we have? And can they travel? Will they get passports? Can they marry? Can they have jobs? So I think these are these are kind of timely questions for in our times. This is we are all a bit busy with the thought of what will our future look like, and we already are used to robots, algorithms for all kind of services. What if they get better and can become partners, love partners, life partners, dialogue partners, and what then if they can imitate us to perfection? What then is the difference?
No, this is what I like so much about the film is like I was just laughing out loud at the beginning, and then there's so many philosophical questions that you approach at the same time that there's like something really playful as well, and yeah, I like I think that's great just how you're all those questions that are posed, but in a way that's that can reach a lot of audiences. A lot of people can think about it and enjoy the film, but also think about all these questions that you're discussing. And just to speak to that part about can robots take over our jobs? I mean, Tom finds a major flaw in Alma's work, right? So that is a really important moment to me. I just wanted to, if you could talk a little bit more about why you why that was important to the story.
Dan, why was that important to the story?
Well, it's an interesting question, isn't it? Because if you were a human boyfriend in that situation and you spotted that there was a rival publication, should you tell your partner? I mean, Tom doesn't have that kind of facility. He's just said, well, this exists. But I don't know, maybe a human would have exercised some more discretion and just been like, I'm not going to say anything. And then, let her find out another way. But, that's sort of missing from Tom. And I think that's the real fun, is that, what's wonderful about these sort of robot stories is that there is a kind of, there's a magical realist element to them. Yeah. And there's also an element where, all we're really talking about is humanity. We're not really talking about robots, but the threat of the existence of robots or just the idea of them throws up so many questions about who we are and who we want to be and what we might use these robots for. It says an awful lot more about ourselves than about than about robotics, I think. But yeah, with regards to correct, to giving away such a sort of devastating piece of information, I don't know, maybe that's an error on Tom's part.
No, he's just perfect. He's just it only takes him the beat of a second to scan the world knowledge and to find, and he speaks every language. He can get information in a microsecond, and at the same time he turns out to be perfect on one side, and then he lacks something very fundamental, which probably also makes us so human. It's the egotistic, self-centered, instinctive fear, jealousy. The whole. I think that makes him such a unique appearance also for Alma at the end, because he's on the one hand side, he is so much better in every sense, and on the other hand, he seems to be almost with a childlike naivety. What's the word?
Yeah.
Naivety. Yeah.
Naivety. Yeah.
Naivety. Yeah. And so dedicated, and so and what I found so interesting in when the story goes along, that Alma wants him to prove. Alma wants to drag all this kind of humans out of him, all this kind of humanity out of him, which we are not proud of. He wants to make him angry. He wants to make him, to resist. He wants to make him I don't know, she wants to install instinctive reactions in him, right? And that's kind of interesting because she rejects him because she thinks machines are not as highly developed as humans are.
No, absolutely, and it's so interesting when Alma discovers like other couples that are, you know, a robot and human couple. I mean, and she's not able to make that same plunge, right? Which I just thought was just so funny and so interesting the way she approaches it. Maren, what did you like? Yeah, can you just talk to us like what did you like about Alma? Because I love when I asked you, you know, at first she's serious, but you find her playful. Like, you know, what did you use to, you know, what kind of how did you approach bringing out those different facets of her character?
Yeah, well, listening to you now in this discussion, I thought I was playing a human, but in the end, it was all about finding out about robots. Alma, it was all about studying robots. Well, Tom was studying Alma and humans, and for Alma, it was the other way around. And I think this finding out about what you think and what you feel, and that these things don't always come together in a way that you can always connect these two poles. That was one aspect of the role, clearly, and the point I was thinking about a lot was how can I make Alma fall in love with Tom? Does she have to forget he's a robot, and how can she forget that? And I was convinced that she had to forget he was a robot to be able to fall in love. But then working on it, I found out that it wasn't really necessary because she falls for him, although he is a robot, although he's a machine, and knowing he's a machine. And that's the interesting thing about it.
I agree. Yeah, no, it is very beautiful. Well, it's wonderful to have you all here in Toronto, as we say, virtually in Toronto. Really excited to be able to present this film to audiences. And Maria, I will definitely get back to you. I know you're going to be shooting nearby, which is great. And so looking forward to your future projects. So excited to be showing this film. And thank you for joining us today for this Q&A.
Thank you so
Thank you very
much.
much.
I wish you a wonderful festival.
Thank you.